Hi everybody, my name is Ogden. I'm an instructor here at WyoTech. In this video, you're going to learn some of the key fundamentals that it takes to boost your vehicle. So I understand we're barely scratching the surface with this, and there is a ton of variables when it comes to turbocharging a vehicle. Some of the key fundamentals is a lot of the stuff that we've got laid out on the table here today. And one of the biggest ones is when you start getting into engine theory, you gotta make sure you have the appropriate hardware to make sure everything is clamped and held together and seals that pressure in. Some of it's gonna be hardware, some of it's gonna be pistons, rods, rings. We've got tons of stuff. Some of it's gonna be, you've got a factory piston. And when it comes to extra pressure, they just don't hold up. Jumping into one of our more critical fundamentals is gonna be our turbocharger selection. There's endless amounts of possibilities when it comes to them across different brands. What type of housing you're gonna run, if it's a twin scroll or a single scroll, whether it's got a T3, T4 flange, or maybe a V-band flange. But before anything else, why size matters. Jumping into another key fundamental when boosting your vehicle, and that's gonna be our fuel selection. Fuel pumps, fuel lines, all that has to correlate directly with our turbocharger. You've got to make sure that you've got the correct line sizes so you can flow the correct amount of fuel for the given power that you're trying to make, which is going to be determined off the size of the turbo that you are selecting. But also at the same time, you have to make sure that your fuel pump can handle the increased pressure that we are going to get from a turbocharged system as well. If we cannot maintain pressure and adequate flow to keep our turbocharged lit, we're going to run into some catastrophic events. So when it comes to your fuel system, this is the insurance when it comes to your build. So another key fundamental when we are building our turbocharged vehicle is going to be our boost control. One of the key components there is going to be a blow-off valve, as well as our wastegates and a solenoid to control the operation on all of those. Those all have to tie in with the turbocharger selection as well as our fuel selection to make everything kind of work in harmony. We gotta have our fueling correct, we gotta have our turbocharger correct, but at the end of the day, the boost control defines how well this turbocharger actually works. So one of our last major key fundamentals that we're going over kind of is one of the biggest parts that ties all these parts together, and it is the test to verify that everything is working properly. And that's gonna be using our dyno. The cool thing is, I mean, it's a standalone highway that's pretty much solid and it's non-moving, and you can actually do this legally, which is kind of a key part. One of the nice aspects about the dyno as well is it provides a really safe means. And I mean, we're gonna be taking this car up to some pretty high speeds, at least 140 miles or potentially even more. While you're trying to control all this power that we're building with the turbocharged system, and the fuel system's trying to maintain its pressure, pistons are trying to hold up to the heat and the pressure we're creating, the dyno is really what's gonna help us when it comes to also tuning the vehicle in a safe manner. Let's go take a look at our Acura that we just got finished turbocharging. So one of our other videos we're going to be covering boost control, blow-off valves, and the wastegates and how they correctly and efficiently control boost pressure. So when we're increasing our horsepower and increasing pressure with our turbocharger, we got to make sure that we keep the air cool. By doing that, we actually installed a front mount intercooler that feeds the air from the driver's side of the engine bay over to the passenger side through the intercooler pipe. So one of our other videos we're going to be covering is our intercooler install and the fabrication needed to actually make it fit the front of our vehicle. Our video to wrap everything up, we're going to be showing our dyno video and how much power this car makes at the end. So going over all these key fundamentals, we got to remember this is all just a small part of boosting your vehicle. There's endless variables that is going to come into all of this, but knowing these key things here are really going to help you understand how to boost your vehicle. Thank you for watching this video. Please make sure that you subscribe so that you can follow the upcoming videos, because we are going to dive deeper into each of these components when it comes to turbocharging your vehicle. So that pretty much wraps up our intro video. Stay tuned for the next one. We're going to be getting into engine theory for a turbocharged vehicle.